Anthem may just be the best kept secret when it comes to areas in Phoenix that not everyone is aware of, but it is an absolutely incredible place to live. Now, there are some true downsides to Anthem that really cause some people to never even consider it as an option. So in this video, I want to give you a pretty honest pros and cons opinion if you're thinking of moving into the city of Anthem. And if you're struggling to find the right spot for you, this video is going to be helpful to learn about Anthem, but I have this totally free moving to Phoenix guide, which is everything I wish I knew before I moved to the Phoenix area 8 years ago. Just a breakdown of things I wish I knew about the different areas, the road systems, the different sayings we have here in Phoenix. So if you want that moving to Phoenix guide, there's a link in the description, or you can just email me and I will send that right over to you. It's definitely a great starting point if you're thinking of moving from out of town to find the right area for you. And you'll also learn a bit about Anthem in that guide as well. So let's get into the pros and cons. And pro number one to Anthem is the scenic community that it has. Every time I go to Anthem and bring some clients to Anthem, they are impressed with the actual outlook to the community. So you have some mountain views surrounding you. No, not massive, mountains like you see in Colorado, nothing like that. But you do have some mountain or hillside views all around the community. But the Anthem Community Park is kind of the central hub of Anthem, and it is probably the best park I have seen in Arizona. And it's extremely lush with lakes and ponds all throughout it. They of course have softball fields and baseball fields, playground, skate park, all of that stuff. But it's really, as you enter into the community, you drive by it. A lot of times people leaving their house, so you're going to drive by it, and it's just this massive, gorgeous, lush park with tons of trees all around it, and you have the mountain views in the back. And so the scenery of Anthem tends to attract a lot of people, and it's just not something you see a lot in the Phoenix area, right? Nice big grass areas, you see ponds in the park. You don't see that all around Phoenix, so that's obviously a big attractor for people, especially maybe if you're used to some greenery back home, you're moving from out of state to Phoenix and you see Anthem. You might think that that might be a better fit from you than the deserty vibe that a lot of other areas of Phoenix give off. And so that park is a huge pro to the community. You can catch and release fish in those lakes. They have a splash pad there. They have a whole train area where kids can hop on a train that drives through the entire community. They've got trees all throughout, real grass all throughout, and of course the ball fields like I was talking about. So really that park is a huge highlight to this community. I mean, people in Anthem are visiting there every single day, right? It's just such a good park, such a great spot to take the kids, to meet new families as well. The scenery around Anthem is spectacular. When you go onto the country club side, which is a guard gated area of Anthem, so it has its own entrance and own amenities up there, but they also actually share amenities, but its own entrance. You also have two golf courses that as you drive around, you see the grass golf courses all throughout, which adds some scenery as well. But again, just the mountain views, the gorgeous park on the inside of the community really makes this one of the more scenic communities in all of Phoenix. So that's definitely probably the biggest pro to Anthem compared to other areas. The con to Anthem, and this is really the one that turns a lot of people away from it, can be the location being so far north. So technically it's just north of the tip of the actual city of Phoenix, not the greater Phoenix area. Anthem would be considered part of the greater Phoenix area, but as far as Phoenix proper, it is technically not inside of the city there. It's its own unincorporated area, which we will talk about. But a con can be the location, because you are so far north that a lot of people, if you're working in downtown or if you're working in Scottsdale, it's going to be a bit of a drive for you, especially if it's going to be on a daily basis. And so the location is not the ideal compared to what some other communities can offer. And even inside of Anthem, they do have a grocery store and a few small restaurants, kind of everything on a daily basis. But in terms of the shopping center or just more options for restaurants, you're probably driving about 15 minutes down to the Norterra area, which there is a huge shopping center and a mall there, movie theater, all that good stuff. So maybe about a 15-minute drive to that area. The other con to living up in Anthem is there really is only one way up into the area of Anthem, and that is the 17 freeway. Now the nice thing is, once you go north of the 101, that 17 freeway doesn't tend to have much traffic to it, but that is a freeway and that is your main access to the community. And so when freeways have construction, or if there's a big accident on the freeway, you are kind of stuck sitting there until it happens. And also people use that 17 freeway to get up to Flagstaff, especially over summer or during ski months. Fridays and Saturdays, that freeway can get a little bit busier, Typically not, stuck, stop and go traffic, but a little bit busier on times where you expect to not have traffic. And so that can be a bummer if that's your only access to it, or also leaving the community. You can take some odd side streets and go through like the Tremonto area, but really that's definitely adding quite a bit of time. So the location, although it is separate from things and definitely a much quieter area, it can be something that a lot of people write off just because of the proximity to different things. Pro number 2 is the amenities inside the community. So these are about as good as you can get in terms of amenities inside of your community and included in your HOA fee. So they have this massive community center, and the highlight really is the outdoor pool area that has basically its own water park with water slides and like a water structure with like a bucket dropping down, like a splash pad, all inside of the water there. And that's included in your amenities, and only people in Anthem can have access to it, but it's spectacular. They have lap lanes there. On the inside of the rec center, they have different rooms where they have classes, for kids to hang out and play in, but they also have a rock climbing wall. They have a fitness center in there. So all of that is included in your HOA. So there's no need to pay for things such as getting your own gym membership. You don't need that because you're already paying for it in the community. They also have pickleball courts and tennis courts there, and of course the massive park. So the amenities are absolutely amazing, and that is for anyone in Anthem. But the Anthem Country Club gets access to those, but they have their own amenities as well. It is a more exclusive community. The amenities are higher there, and they have the access to the 2 golf clubs as well. But their amenities also have fitness centers, pools, pickleball courts, all of that good stuff inside the community. It's going to be a lot closer to your house though if you're living in Anthem Country Club, because they have 2 of them up there and you get access to the other one. So lots of amenities if you're living in Anthem Country Club. But the amenities overall in Anthem are spectacular. Really, they're about as good as you can get in terms of amenities, especially for an all-age community. This is something you see in different like resort style 55 plus communities. You're getting access to that in an all-age community, and it is tailored for families. Really a great spot to meet new people, meet people living inside the community. Your kids will make friends at this park and at the amenities, at that splash pad and water park area. It is absolutely amazing what they have going on up there. So the con, which could be a pro for some people, but it's just a bit more of an oddity to the area of Anthem, is that it is unincorporated part of Maricopa County. So it is not its own city. It is not attached to Phoenix, although it kind of comes across like its own city just because the address may say Anthem, although some of them, like if you're writing a letter, it may say Phoenix, a little bit confusing, but it's unincorporated. So the pro to that is that your taxes tend to be lower. It might be a few $100s lower than a place like Tremonto, which is just south of Anthem and technically in the city of Phoenix. But that also means you don't get access to things like city services or city utilities. So you're gonna have the county sheriff's office when it comes to police. And obviously if there's an actual emergency, right, life-threatening emergency, house on fire, things like that, any city's first responder, the closest one, will go to it. So if you're worried about that, right, it could be the city of Phoenix police show up if it's a life-threatening thing, but in general, it is county services, especially for non-life-threatening things when you're calling the police. So that could be a con, is those tend to be slightly slower than the typical police may be in a typical city. You also will have third-party water and sewer as well as trash pickup. So that's not a huge deal, right? That's maybe adding like $50 a month, maybe even less than that when it comes to your utilities bills, whereas city services tend to be a bit cheaper, although people tend to say that the third-party water company, Epcor, which is up there, is likely better than most of the city waters. I'm not going to make that decision. You can make it for yourself. But so you are paying slightly more for a third-party services and utilities. But again, that kind of comes back to you're paying less in city taxes. Also, when it comes to zoning or permitting, you're not going through a city, you're actually going through the county. You, of course, do need HOA approval for different things like that as well. And in general, cities tend to be slightly faster than counties when it comes to permitting, but that is something that you have to factor in as well. So the unincorporated aspect to Anthem, it could be a pro or a con, right? You get slightly lower taxes, but you are paying for third-party things. You have different services when it comes to first responders, but all in all, I don't think it makes that drastic of a difference to your daily life when it comes to being unincorporated or not, right? Saving a couple $100s a year, I wouldn't make my decision on where I'm moving my family based off just a couple $100s a year, whether I'm saving it or spending a little bit extra and living, in a place like Tremonto, just south of it in the actual city of Phoenix. And then the third pro about Anthem is just that it is a quieter area up there. You don't hear the jet noise like you hear in the West Valley. You hear almost no road noise, even though you're near the 17. The homes tend to be a bit more to the east of it, so a bit further away from the freeway. Very quiet area up there. You don't have planes flying above you. You got the mountains in the back. And since you are further from the city, actually the temperature tends to be a few degrees lower in Anthem than in the city of Phoenix, just because of the amount of concrete and the heat that it holds in the city of Phoenix. You're further from that. You're a bit more in the desert up in Anthem. And so it is actually a bit cooler up there, very slightly, nothing too drastic, but hey, compared to that full of asphalt and all the different roads we have down in Phoenix, so it is a little bit cooler up in Anthem. So there you go. There are some pros and cons to Anthem. I absolutely love the area of Anthem. Something I'm recommending constantly to people. And when I bring clients up there, they see it for the first time. They tend to be impressed with the homes they can get, the prices that they can get in Anthem. That community park is always spectacular. The amenities are top notch. It's definitely an area I'd be considering if I was moving to Phoenix or even relocating inside of Phoenix. So if you want help moving to Anthem, just reach out to me. I am a realtor here in the area. My email and number on the screen. And if you want that moving to Phoenix guide, just click the link in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for more videos about living in Arizona.